you start something called St. Joseph's Helpers. What is it?
Well, you read the mission statement at the beginning, and what we are is an organization that go out and look to do minor home repairs and maintenance for those in need. But what we learned very quickly was that it wasn't just about the home repairs. People are lonely. People need companionship. Some people have a spiritual need and ask us to pray for them. We have a prayer request button on our website. So we've recruited priests, deacons, lay people that will actually pray for these individuals. And in some cases, these individuals have asked us to contact them and pray with them. So we've looked at St. Joseph's Helpers as more than just a nonprofit handyman business that goes in and makes repairs. We want to offer more than that. What we just added in December of this year is a new website called Julie's List. And Julie's List is a information and resource center that offer different organizations. 2,300 are on the website right now, and we're in 43 states that offer anything from housing, food, goods, medical equipment, health, education. There's 10 different categories on our website.
We're talking to Tony Rosati. If you want to learn more, sjhelpers.org. Who do you serve?
Well, that's a question that we get asked a lot. How do we determine need? Well, we basically, anyone who is in need, anyone who needs a little helping hand, but veterans, the elderly, people with physical disabilities. But our focus is mostly, we're a mercy ministry, and we want to help the entire person and the things that they have to, that they may be in need of. We have what we call a 70-20-10 model. 70% of the people we help have no financial means whatsoever. 20% may have a couple of dollars where they can help with purchasing some of the material, and they feel they want to help be a part of our organization. And then there's the 10%. The 10% who have financial means but still aren't sure of who to go to get the help that they need, so they'll call us. We had a lady back in January of 24. She had lost part of her foot to diabetes, and she had a handicap ramp put to the back of her home on her back patio. Problem is she wouldn't go anywhere because her patio door only locked from the inside. So she called a window company, and they gave her a price of $1,500 to replace the whole door wall so it could lock from the outside. She calls us. We send out one of our volunteers. They went to Lowe's, and they bought a $45 universal lock kit. That was it. She made a nice donation to our organization, and she helped pay it forward.
Describe the services.
Mostly, if I had to categorize what we want to do, is we take care of safety issues in people's homes. A lot of those are grab bars, handrails, handicap ramps, lighting in hallways where the light bulbs are burnt out and they can't really see well. Steps that are in need of repair that have either rotted out. So there's mostly, again, we try to stay and handle safety issues. We do some electrical and plumbing issues that, again, like GFI plugs in bathrooms that are a safety issue.
We're talking to Tony Rosati, www.sjhelpers.org. It's been in existence for 3 years. And I'm Jack Krasula, and this is Anything is Possible on 760 WJR. In 2023, he starts St. Joseph's Helpers. Tony, what do you do? You call them cases. What do you do, like one case a month, and you got 2 or 3? schlemiels down the street that help you?
Well, that's about what we thought we'd do when we first started. But what we had is any organization has to put together some goals and objectives. Our goal when we first started was in year 4 or 5 that we would be able to do 1 case a day, 350 cases in a year. And we thought that would be quite an achievement. God had a different plan. Our first year in 2023, we did 350 cases. We had 100 volunteers. In year 2, 2024, we did 1,186 cases, and we had close to 200 volunteers. We ended last year at 1,761 completed cases. We are now at 325 volunteers. So we have surpassed what our goal was by 5 times. And this year's goal is 2,400 cases by the end of this upcoming year. Very achievable.
I can hear people listening, older people. I can hear daughters and sons of older people saying, Jack, I gotta talk to Tony Rosati.
Well, there's 3 ways that you can reach out to us. First is online. You can fill out a request for work. Not everybody has computers. So the second way is through our phone number. Our phone number is 800-303-5075. The third way is we have partnered with many churches, organizations in the 7 counties that we're in here and now starting in Kentucky that also refer clients to us. So there is a referral basis, but that's not a requirement. Most people pick up the phone. The phone is ringing constantly all day long. We have 10 stations at our office, and the phones are ringing constantly.
What are you, just downriver?
Our main office is in Taylor, but because of the way our website is designed...
Website. Oh, you got to tell us about this website, too.
Yes. So a lot of people's website is just a place to go and get information about who you are, what you do. Our website is our foundation of how we operate our business. So how it works is if you're a volunteer, you get a username and password. You can go online to the website, log in, and see every open case that we have available. You can query it by the city, by zip code, by the type of work. So whether you're in Kentucky, Oakland County, or Monroe, you can type in that zip code and up will pop the projects that are needed done in your area. You click on that case and you put 2 days and times that you're available. It sends us an email at the office. One of our office volunteers calls the homeowner and says, Jack is available on Tuesdays and Thursdays to go out and do this repair for you at 1 o'clock. The homeowner picks a date. We send an email back to the volunteer, and we are ready to go. So any materials that we need, we order out of our Taylor office, and we have contracts, again, with Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, and Great Lakes Ace. So if it's a grab bar, for example, Great Lakes Ace gives us a very deep discount on those. We order them from Great Lakes. We have them shipped either to the homeowner or to the volunteer, or the volunteer can go pick them up directly himself.
And you said you have nearly 350 volunteers.
Correct.
Growing. And you're in 7 counties now in Kentucky.
Yes.
You know, this radio show, when it airs, can be heard in 27 states and half of Canada. Tony, be careful what you pray for, okay? sjhelpers.org. How can I become a volunteer? Well, we got wives saying, I want Jackie to become a volunteer. How do I get my husband to become a volunteer?
Well, there's a story there too, but we'll start with how you can become a volunteer. We have an application form online that you can fill out, is one way. Another is if you, again, aren't computer savvy, call the office and one of our volunteers will help you fill out the paperwork. We ask you to send us a photograph of yourself so that we can do a little bio on you so that when you go out to a case, we send that bio with your picture to the homeowner. And then we send you a T-shirt. And that's as simple as it is to become a volunteer. In some cases, I was advocating at a church one Sunday, and I always make the statement at the end of the 2 minutes I get to speak. If you have 1 or 2 hours a month, you can have a huge impact in the life of an individual. So this woman and her husband came to the back table, and she says, you know, my husband would really like to sign up. I'm thinking, really? So he says, really? I only got to spend an hour or two a month? I said, you can spend an hour or two a year if you want. You can do one case as often as you'd like. So a few weeks later, he actually did claim a case, went out and did a grab bar for a woman in her 90s. She wouldn't stop crying. She wouldn't stop hugging him. She now could get in and out of her shower without her daughter having to come over, strip her down naked, and how humiliating that was. And she wanted to show her gratitude to this volunteer who did the job. So we always ask the volunteer to call the office and to give the story of what happened. And he was in tears. Well, this individual is now claiming one case a week. You connect with someone personally, it's a great feeling. And that's what's so, I guess, wonderful about this organization is the volunteer gets to touch that homeowner that they've reached out to and feel the love that is there in every project we do.
A listener says, this sounds too good to be true, but I'm afraid I can't let a stranger in my house, or I can't let a stranger come into my mom's house.
It's a good point. We vet and do a background check of every single volunteer before they're allowed to serve. So we have insurances, though, that also cover the homeowner. We have product liability, general liability, workers' comp, accident insurance, officers and directors insurance, and an umbrella policy that will protect the homeowner as well as the volunteer that comes to work at St. Joseph's.
The late, great Mother Teresa came to America many times. One time she gave a speech while she was here, and she says, America is dying of a disease. It's spreading through America like wildfire. And the disease is called loneliness.
That's why we in late 23 changed our mission statement, Jack, and feel that companionship is just as important as sometimes the repair itself. I read a Pew report, about a year or so ago, and it stated that 57% of people surveyed admitted they couldn't name their neighbor on either side of them or across the street. That is a sad testimony to where we've come in this country, where you can't name your neighbors, let alone that you're going to go over there and help. Tell a quick story. There was a lady on the phone that one of our volunteers had taken, and she could hear the beeping in the background. And what was that? It was her smoke detectors. It was something as simple as changing a battery. And the first thing that comes to mind is, you don't have a neighbor on either side of you that can help you change a battery? You don't have a family member or a friend? And again, she's in her late 80s. And the answer was no, she didn't. Loneliness is truly becoming an epidemic in this country.
All right, you mentioned Julie's List, started by Julie Kennedy Carpenter. Delve a little deeper into this Julie's List.
So a year ago, there was a young girl in Detroit who had just lost her father to prostate cancer. Got hit by a stray bullet that severed her spinal cord, paralyzed her for life, 17 years old. Her mom called us through her church, and was there anything we could do for this young girl? So the handicap ramp was about $7,500. And at that time, we just did not have the financial resources for that. So Julie works for us as an assistant executive director, and she says, let me see what I can do. So she went through her list of resources, and the state of Michigan provides financial aid to adolescent children who are disabled. The state of Michigan paid for $6,000 of the $7,500 for the ramp. We paid the other $1,500. And we put the ramp in for this little girl, and now is able to get out on her own.
If you need help, if you want to help, or if you want to donate, sjhelpers.org. What have these thousands of clients these last 3 years taught you?
So every one of the 3,200 clients is a success story. There's just so many individual stories. You can put them off as numbers. We helped 1,761. We helped this many. But they're individuals. And the blessing that I've had to get to know the ones that I've been able to go out and help. Listening to the stories of the volunteers. My pastor told me, he says, do you realize how many people you're helping? And I said, yes, we helped so many people. And he says, no. He said, it's the volunteers. He says, you're giving those people an opportunity to serve. He said, do you realize what a blessing that is to them?
You're letting go and letting God use you. And he's doing phenomenal work. Some would say in spite of yourself. I don't say that. Okay? Keep up the great, great work.
Thank you.
Please join us next week. Until then, I'm Jack Krasula. Make it a great week and make it a great Holy Week, because with God, anything is possible. Spall.